Okay, so as I said, we're going to go back and do a little bit more algebra now. At some point before too long, I think we probably should have a test in coordinate geometry, but I'm going to wait till I see you this week and we can pick a date that suits us then. Okay, so the topic that we're starting on today is solving equations from word problems, and this is a topic that almost everybody finds challenging. It's just, you know, the skills, you know, the methods that you use when you're solving formulas, when you're solving equations, but how to come up with those equations yourself when you're given a problem is a skill that takes some time to develop. Some of you will be lucky and you'll get this straight away and it won't cause any problems for you. And some of you, you'll have to work and you'll have to practice at this. And really, if you don't get it straight away, it's one of those things that practice is the only solution to it. So while I will assign you homework, I'd also like you to maybe practice more in your own time, and when you're getting stuck on them, on certain problems, send them to me, and I can help you with them. I'd also like to encourage you not to be downhearted if you don't get this straight away. Just, accept that it will be frustrating, but know that practice and more examples will make it get better over time, and it will click, it will come together. I have every confidence in that because it always does. So bear with it, bear with the process, pause the video, go back over things. It will come together. And of course, ask me questions. And I know that this is going to be hard when we're doing this in a distance learning way, but you can do it. You absolutely can do it. So let's look at this example to start with. We're told that Aidan has X euro, Bashir has 4.5 times as much money as Aidan, Charlie has 20 more than Aidan and Bashir combined. And that seems like a whole mess of interconnected information, and it can be really hard to kind of put that together to answer the final question, which is how much money does each person have? So I'd like us to start at the beginning here. Aidan has X euro, okay? So if we knew how much money Aidan had, so sometimes it's useful when you're looking at these to imagine an amount. So let's write down the three names anyway. So here's Aidan's name. Then we've got Bashir. And we have Charlie. So here are our three people. If we imagine an amount of money for Aidan, suppose he had 10 euro. So we're going to do a suppose, and I always like to pick nice neat numbers like 10 for these. If you use actual numbers, it can help you figure out what the pattern is, and the pattern is going to tell us how to construct the equations that we need. So suppose Aidan had 10 euros, then Bashir would have 4.5 times as much. 4.5 multiplied by 10, he would have 45 euro. And Charlie has 20 more than Aidan and Bashir combined, so you'd add the 10 and the 45, you'd get 55, and then you'd add on 20 to that, and you'd get 75. Okay? So I think almost everybody could answer a question. If we were told how much Aidan had, you'd know what to do with it. Let's try another suppose. Suppose Aidan had 5 euro. Then Bashir would have 4.5 multiplied by 5. We might have to use our calculator for that. It should be 22.5, but 4.5 multiplied by 5, 22.5 euro, 22 euro 50 cent. And Charlie would have those two answers, 5 plus 22.5 plus 20 extra. Okay, and that's going to end up being 47 euro 50. Now, the problem is we don't know what Aidan has. What are we told though? We're told that Aidan has X euro. So Aidan has X euro, which means that Bashir has 4.5 multiplied by X, like this. So you can see we're following the pattern that we did here. Whatever the value Aidan has, we're just multiplying it by 4.5. Now we can't do an equals to that. This is my answer. But here, for Charlie, what do? Well, whatever Aidan has, we add it to whatever Bashir has, like that, 4.5x, and then we add on 20 as well. Okay, so we actually have done quite a lot of information here. Let's write down some steps for what we did. Try out some sample real number values to help you identify the pattern. Then use variables, usually x, to represent unknowns and create expressions. Expressions are mathematical sentences for the information we're given. Now, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put the expressions together with any answers or totals and solve equations to find the missing values. Okay, so we've done steps 1 and 2. We've tried out some example numbers, and then we've filled in our x into the pattern, and we can see how this is coming together. Now, what haven't we done? We haven't figured out how much they each have. Well, can we figure out how much they each have? We're missing a little bit more information, aren't we? So if we say, I actually didn't write down the full information here, so sorry. I need an if on top of this. If they have €130 all together, then here's my question. How much money does each person have? So we needed this piece of information, the €130 all together. So what's all together? All together means adding together Aidan and Bashir and Charlie. Aidan plus Bashir plus Charlie. Their money all added together is going to give me €130. So you can see now I'm going to have an equation. Well, what am I going to fill into this equation? These values here that I got from my pattern. So Aidan has x, Bashir has 4.5x, and Charlie has this long expression, plus x plus 4.5x plus 20 equal to 130. Can I solve an equation like this? Of course I can. First, though, I'm going to put my like terms together. Can I add those even when there's a decimal in the coefficient? I can. 4.5 and 4.5 is 9, 10, 11x. Use your calculator if you need to. 11x plus 20 is equal to 130. And I think you can all solve this from here. 11x is equal to 130 minus 20, which is 110. So if 11x is equal to 110, I divide across by 11 and get the value of x. X is equal to 10. Actually, it was one of the answers, one of the values that we tried out there. So we got lucky. They won't always be nice round numbers like that. Okay, have I answered the question? No, for two reasons. One, I don't have units in. I haven't said this is euro. Two, I haven't said who this belongs to. it's Aidan's amount. And 3, I haven't calculated the other 2 values. So the final thing to do here is to fill back into the equation that I had up here. So Aidan, write down our answers. Aidan has €10. Bashir has 4.5 by 10, €45. And Charlie, even though we did actually calculate these earlier, has those 2 added together, 10 plus 45 plus 20, which is €75. Now, quick check, do those all add up to 130? 10 plus 45 plus 75 is indeed 55 plus 75, which is 60 plus 70, 130. So we've verified our answer there. Okay, so I took a really long time to go through that. You guys would do that a lot quicker yourselves. But just, this is how you do it. If you're getting stuck, if you don't know how to get started, approach it from these 3 steps here. Some sample values, putting on the variables, setting it equal to another piece of information that's given in the question. Now, some people will be able to do this in 1 step, and it's great if you can. There's no problem to take shortcuts when you know what you're doing. This is to help you get started if you find these questions confusing. Okay, thank you.